So I had my second week of the Boys and Girls Club on Tuesday, and it was definitely a little different because I was in a fifth grade classroom versus a kindergarten classroom. So obviously the age gap was way different, so it was just a different experience. The first thing I noticed, so racially, the kids were a lot more segregated with who they were hanging out with. So there was like 3 or 4 black students, and they all hung out together basically the whole time and like were their own little fun group. And then all the white girls were together, and then all the white males were together. So I noticed this when I first walked in, and they were like sitting in a circle, doing attendance and stuff. All the girls were sitting together, and then it was like all the boys were sitting together, and then all the white girls were sitting together. So you definitely saw that more than in the kindergarten classroom. My theory is just that like as you get older, you start to notice those things more, I feel like, and just learn more about them, and it just becomes more evident. So you kind of start as like you're finding yourself, especially like fifth grade's kind of that age you start to like mature a lot. You like just start to go around people that are like you because you relate to them more, and that just kind of helps like with your friendships and stuff. So that was kind of my theory on that. So I definitely noticed it, and like we went to recess and they all kind of stayed in those same groups. And then so that was kind of like gender and race together. I thought like all the girls were together, all the boys were together, and then they were kind of separated in those racially. And then another interesting thing was I kind of talked about it last week, but there was a lot more diversity in the teachers. And my fifth grade teacher was a black female, and so I felt like the black students, like were drawn to her more. Like they were kind of hanging on her the whole time and just like wanted to talk to her about her life and just stuff like that. So they definitely probably felt like they had someone that they could relate to a little more, because like I talked about last week, and like we've talked about in class, most teachers in America are white females. So and I don't know if like their normal school day teacher is or not, but you can definitely tell they like were really comfortable around her. And it was probably good that they had someone like that to look up to. I don't know, they just seemed really comfortable with her and stuff, so that was pretty cool to see. There was definitely a lot more like drama within the fifth grade. I think again they're just like older, so and it was kind of like back and forth. There was one Mexican girl in our class, and it was like back and forth between her and just a white girl in the class. And so there was probably some like, it looked like there was a little bit of dominance there. Like you could tell that girl was kind of like the head of the class, like the drama queen, the queen of the group. I don't know how to describe it, something like that. But so I definitely noticed that a little bit. And then the last thing, so we were doing this activity about Kansas, and they had like make a word search about words that described Kansas. And it is crazy that like, so there was one sheet of paper that had all the different like ethnicities and races that have like been in Kansas or migrated here. Like it's like Native American, African American, all that stuff. And you could tell they knew like nothing about the actual history of Kansas, kind of like we've talked about in class. Like people don't really know the actual history of Native Americans and stuff, and like how poorly we treated them. And you could definitely tell out there that they've kind of had the like, Columbus Day is such a great thing and like all that stuff. And you could just tell they didn't know anything about like the real history and stuff. And just like how diverse of a country we do live in, and that we have like, a lot of people have immigrated here that are different diversities and stuff. So it's basically exactly what we talked about in class with, like how we just don't know what happened with Native Americans and stuff. So you could tell that was the case also. They've kind of all had it glamorized for them, which is not reality. So they definitely need to work on that, I guess. But it was a good week. Looking forward to next week.